We are a peaceful people, struggling, we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces, from foreign places, talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river, that belong to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is our land now, we're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we are moving from here, make no mistake. No, we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river, that belong to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass. Love the open country of the Rupanuni and the Essequibo, daytime or night. Though we criticize it, this is our home, we love it, and we mean to keep it, we have that right. Though we ain't giving up no mountain, and we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river, that belong to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one chorus, not a blade of grass, not one golden apple, not one jamun, not a drop of water from the Pomeroon, not one Sheriga, not one Mami, not one Guinea, not one Whitey.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home, the only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home, the only place I call home. Hey, hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home, the only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home, the only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. and it ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too.
From the islands, from the east to the west side, that's my land. The secret was my home. So that's my home. So when they been a suffer, nobody not been a fight for we. Now everybody want a piece, so we started reach the sinful and where before them bring exam to find a hell for we. We know how that full up their minds, you see. And how that make them a rival way. Me just wish them could have seen all of the years they been a suffer like that. Me say forever, forever and ever. A secret boy my own. A secret boy my own. From the islands and rivers and mountains surrounding, the love in my heart is resounding. I'm loving Guyana, my country, but a secret boy is forever my own. Remember childhood days, the by the riverside and laugh and play. The black water when I learned to swim back then, still living in my memories. Always try live good with neighbors. From them cry we have for assistance. And when we didn't have much, everybody liked us. That's why we don't believe that. When we see it on the media, yo, them coulda tried claim peace in my land. When we never see none of them when struggle me not go on. Yo, a kind of leader. Fight down poor people for land where them grow up on. Most generous people in the world. From anyone knock we are open windows. But forever, forever and ever, a secret boy is my own. A secret boy is my own, yeah. From the islands and rivers and mountains surrounding, the love in my heart is resounding. I'm loving Guyana, my country, but a secret boy is forever my own. Forever my own. A secret boy is my own. Secret boy is my own, yeah. So forever, forever, forever. A secret boy is forever my own.
Sometimes you just got to listen. There's a child in every home and every community. They will grow up to be symbols of unity. They'll be colorblind to race and ethnicity. That's the vision of a leader like President Irfan Ali. I'm talking about the One Guyana, where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana, to grow up in a land united and free, with equality and blessed with prosperity. For too long we've been fighting one another. It's race against race, but in the end the country suffer. Oh, we were born here, not in India nor Africa. But if we can't get along, the foreigners gon' eat we suffer. We must put an end to racism. Let it end now with this generation. Together we'll develop this nation. Make Guyana the gem of the Caribbean. Don't listen to them wicked politicians who will divide us to win an election, believe it or not. Guyanese no smarter than that. Yeah, I told you, it's your boy Padmore. Unity is the key. We are all one, and we should be treated as one. Our ancestors were slaves and laborers, but the life they endured made it better for us. We honor their sacrifice and the freedom they bought for we. But some descendants of slaves use that to fuel the rich. It doesn't matter what's your skin color, when we bleed blood it's red the same. Let's respect and love one another. When a brother cry, we must feel the pain. We're Portuguese, African and Indian. We're Chinese mixed up, we're Amerindians. We're all Guyanese. Let's end this segregation. I'm appealing to Guyanese in the diaspora. We welcome you home. We've got a lot to offer. It's not the same place that you run away from. Come see the paradise Guyana has now become. I'm talking about the One Guyana, where our people can live in peace, where every race trusts each other, where racial prejudice no longer exists. Our children will have one Guyana, to grow up in a land united and free, with equality and blessed with prosperity. It's a message I just want you to understand. Stop and think for a minute. Really think for a minute. If we can't fix the present, then we should work on.
Wake up, the day is bright, and I feel the blue. Turn your dial for Livewire, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, bring your vibes you can feel.
News, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Wake up, the day is bright, time to feel the flow. Turn your dial to Livewire, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, from 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. We'll keep you wired every way, in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. So grab your coffee, your tea, or toast. With Courdel Jones, we'll give you the most. Livewire, we'll give you the way. Running to the energy, the beat of the street, the show that connects. It's where people meet. We're wired to your world, we got the news. On Livewire, there's nothing to lose. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community,
push your power. Livewire hits you every hour. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. It's your community, you push your power. Livewire hits you every hour.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Livewire with yours truly. It is Thursday, the 27th of March, 2025. I trust everybody had a restful night and they're up and ready to go. As you guys would know, today at 2 p.m., there will be the press conference by the General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Dr. Bart Jagdeo. So ensure you guys tune in to keep yourself up to date and aware about the latest developments in and around the political sphere here in Guyana. Morning to all the persons joining us across the diaspora. Morning to all the persons joining us across the 10 administrative regions. I trust you guys are having a wonderful morning. Especially morning to the persons joining us in the comment section. Had your comments up on screen, so I will not go through all the names this morning. Quite a few more persons joining in the live after. Morning to all you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing the live. If you haven't shared the live, please share the live, whether you're joining us on YouTube, Facebook. Well, just YouTube and Facebook we're on. But please ensure that you share the live so that we could have the widest viewership possible, right? Last evening, the Minister of Education would have had a debut episode of towards Article 29, Season 1, Episode 1. So you guys could please check that out. If you didn't catch the live last evening on Facebook and YouTube, you can go and look at this again. The title is Towards Article 29, Episode 1. The minister has two guests there and they cover topics that are quite sensitive to Guyana. And I think it's good that we have persons tackling these issues head on as it relates to domestic violence, women in the workplace, and those kinds of things. Right? So make sure you check that out. Towards Article 29, hosted by Minister Manik Chan. She had two guests with her in the first episode, and it was quite an interesting discussion. So again, please check it out and be aware of the information as presented there, right? I trust everybody is doing fine, and we're going to jump into it this morning. I was out of town for 2 days. I got back into town and into some other stuff that was going on here. So it's been a non-stop 3 days of me, and we'll be live from Kokwani tomorrow in Region 10. So look out for that. Livewire will be live from Kokwani. Please understand, when we go out of town to these areas, the bandwidth is not the same as in the capital city. So we will have some internet issues. The video quality might not be at its best, but the audio is usually good. So you can at least be aware of what's going on. We'll try to talk to some of the residents as well about what's happening in Kokwani. A lot of development there. Just the other day, we're supposed to have the Minister of Housing as well on the program tomorrow to talk about housing and water development in Kokwani, and also other developments in the community as well. The Honorable Minister Colin Crowell should be on the program tomorrow, live from Kokwani, talking to you guys about the government's initiatives in those areas. Right? This is the current situation at the gas pump. Well, the Guyana gas pumps, people. Right? That's the current situation at the Guyana gas pumps. And again, I said a few shows back, I asked persons, what is your government? How have you benefited? What has the government done for you? Jane, morning to you. I haven't seen you. I think I saw you earlier in the week on the show. But good morning to you. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful week so far. So again, I'm saying, how have you benefited? Right? The current situation we're in, the government is continuing to put initiatives in place to brace the impact that we feel from external sources, right? So again, we see efforts being made to ensure that Guyanese get the best prices for gasoline. There was is it the excise tax? I think it's the excise tax on fuel that government has been absorbing since COVID, when the shipping issues would have started and gas prices would have raised around the world. The government of Guyana, under the leadership of President Irfan Ali, would have stepped in and ensured that gas prices remain the same in Guyana. Now we're seeing a reduction in the price of gas per liter. How many other countries around the world, around the Caribbean, can say that this is happening at their pump? Right? And in turn, because remember, Guyana is a Guyana-owned gas station or company, Guyanese owned company, right? These competitive prices here will force the private suppliers of gas to be competitive and lower their prices as well to stay in the game, because some people would line up at Guyana just to get them prices there. I can't remember the last time I saw gasoline for $1.85. I am hoping that this translates to the taxi drivers, the minibus drivers, the boat operators, and people in transport generally. Right? I am speaking to the bus drivers, taxi drivers, short drop drivers, boat operators, water transport. I just don't include jet fuels. We can't include the airline operators, the local airline operators. But I am hoping that with this reduction, the bus fare go down by at least $20 or $40. We could go back to $60 short drop fare. Is it possible with the reduction? Could we go back to $60 short drop fare? Could the taxi operators, and I will differentiate between the two, because you have base taxis, you got road taxi, and usually the base taxi, they try the best to stick to the base price, which is most times reasonable. But the road taxis now, right? They are sometimes unscrupulous in their operations. I have friends who work taxi, who tell me of some of the horrible things that they would have done to people. So this one guy was telling me about a gentleman who was trying, he's not from Georgetown. The guy was not from Georgetown. The taxi driver's from Georgetown. So the guy was traveling from the park, the bus park in town, going to Perico. And he charged the man $30,000 to take him from Georgetown to Perico. And he was so happy and excited about this thing. I was like, man, geez, even if you just say 15, which is still unreasonable, why would you, mind you, the guy wasn't carrying no big set of load or nothing. Pack up his car with nothing. You understand? So I was like, why would you want to charge this man so much money? You never know if this man come back out to the coastland, and because you dealt with him nice, you give him a nice price, the man calling you and you get other business from him. You understand? So they have some unscrupulous taxi operators out there that will look at this gas reduction and use it as a opportunity for them to rip off people. So some of them will continue to charge the same price, $1,000. I think $1,000 short drop anywhere in Georgetown is ridiculous. Anywhere, whether it's traffic or not. Anywhere. Absolutely ridiculous for $1,000. Even if you're in traffic, you're burning $500 gas, to go from any point to Georgetown to the other. No way. So again, I'm asking taxi operators, bus operators, the boat operators that operate from Vreeden Hook to Stabrook Wharf, Bartica, Essequibo boat, but Lusitnan. I'm going to say Louisiana, but the boat operators down at that go over to Leg One. Oh, we know that you're benefiting from this. Please let this trickle down to the common man. Please. I think gas was $2.19 or $2.20 or something like that. That's a reasonable cut. You could take a $20 or $40 off. Even if it's just 20. Do something for the people because you're benefiting. You understand? You're benefiting. So guys, this morning, this is the current situation at the Guile gas pumps. $1.85 for gasoline. Low sulfur diesel is $1.98 and kerosene is $1.75. Right? That aside, I did notice that, what was it? I did notice that the president made an announcement that there will be a new 4-lane highway for the Essequibo coast. President Irfan Ali announced the upgrading of the Essequibo coast main thoroughfare to a 4-lane highway to accommodate the increasing traffic demands. Now, the design phase of the highway will commence before the end of 2025. The highway project comes after significant investment in many community roads and infrastructure over the past 5 years of this Irfan Ali administration. So again, if you go to certain parts of Essequibo, Berbice, Georgetown, Linden, Bartica, Letem, the indigenous village, St. Cuthbert's Mission, these indigenous villages, you would see the massive investment in community roads that the government has undertaken. Now, what would complement this is that the thoroughfares, the highways, are in excellent condition as well. I did say to persons I was passing coming down from Berbice, I think it was Babu John, last Sunday. And I was excited to see that at least one half of the 4-lane that connects Ogle to the Heroes Highway and then will connect the Heroes Highway all the way to Mary is completed, and they're working on the other side to get it graded and whatever they do. I am not an engineer. That they have to do to put on the asphaltic surface last. They're working to get that done, right? So again, massive investment in community roads, and now we're seeing massive investments not just in Region 4 where the capital is, not just in Region 3 where the capital is adjacent to, not just in Region 10 which is a short drive away, but Essequibo, again, Letem, Bartica, those far-flung communities, those indigenous communities. Talking about indigenous community, and come to that because they're going to take more for what we're doing here. But we see that the development happening there, and this 4-lane for the Essequibo coast will be a welcomed addition. I am pretty sure the residents are going to be very happy about it, right? Now, there'll be a new ferry service, a second ferry on the Perica to Essequibo route will improve transport and trade access, right? Now, there was the issue of persons wanting to be able to traverse more. Unless you're flying a plane, you have to get to Essequibo by boat or by steamer, speedboat or steamer. You understand? There's no other way for you to get there. And the boats can only carry so much. So having a new ferry added to the system will allow for persons to traverse more easily. Persons bringing perishables from the Pomeroon and those farming communities can get them to the market quicker, so that there is not this worry that, you know, I lose my produce or whatever it is, or there's not a need to sell it as high of a price because you don't have as much hassle to try to catch the one ferry that operating in the area, right? So you have more options, and it makes it easier for you. So coming back to the community roads, that also impacts price. When the farmer can get his products or his produce to the market without having to probably hire a tractor, if he could drive his car into the farm and load up his trunk and his back seat and drive back out and don't have to go and pay somebody to transport it for him, that will lower your cost on the back end as the customer consuming, right? So when I hear persons talk about road infrastructure, but what the government doing? Mind you, they're doing a lot of other things, but I am perplexed as to understand how they don't see the impact of good infrastructure on prices at the market, at the supermarkets in general. If you have to pay a lot of money to transport anything, you will sell it for a higher price because you have to recoup the transportation cost. You understand? Now, in terms of support for rice farmers, the Ministry of Agriculture will assist farmers in cultivating high-value crops, providing additional income and economic stability in Region 2 there, right? There will be a modern port at Charity. The plans to develop this modern port will open direct trade with the Caribbean and other international markets. So just like Linden, once that road is finished, that connects Brazil to Linden, the trade activity, and I think I spoke about this yesterday, it is quicker and it is faster, the distance is shorter for produce in certain parts of Brazil to come to Guyana to ship out to the rest of the world, rather than driving through Brazil to get to their coast. That is how vast that area or that country is. It is cheaper, faster, and less distance to get to Linden or Port Georgetown to ship out their stuff. So look at what would happen for Charity if they have a modern international port. Container ships could come there. So instead of having to land your container in Georgetown, probably hire a truck to pack off certain things, because I don't think containers could go on the ferry. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever seen a container on the ferry. It's too big. So you'd have to land your container in town, load it onto a truck, drive the truck all the way to Perica, wait to get on the boat, get off the boat, drive to your location wherever you are in Region 2. Being able to land your container in Charity in Region 2, could you imagine the cost that will cut for business persons in that area, which will hopefully transition down to the persons who are shopping in these areas? Because they got some, just like the taxi drivers and the bus operators, some of them, they have some unscrupulous business persons too, who would use that as an opportunity to capitalize on the most profit that they could. And what we need to remember, people, is that all of us living here in this Guyana, if the regular man don't have no money to shop, Mr. Businessman, your thing that you selling, you'd have to keep that. You'd have to keep it. So we must take into consideration the initiatives of the administration aimed at lowering costs for business persons, and by extension, lowering the cost of living costs for the average Guyanese out there, right? Now, His Excellency also shared some information on a cold storage facility for Region 2. Now, investment in the cold storage and agro-processing infrastructure will enhance farmers' ability to preserve and market their crops, right? Now, again, we've seen the government pushing for value-added products. I was in Letem, as I told you, just yesterday, came back yesterday, and I heard people saying in Letem, the mangoes like literally falling off the trees and just rotting, and they didn't got people to eat the mangoes there. And then sometimes when you go to the market in town, 4 mango for 1,000. Right? So the ability for the people in region 9 or region 8 or region 7 or even region 4 where people are farming to to preserve fruits, vegetables, whatever it is, package them properly so that they're more marketable and can be sold or kept a longer time and sold in supermarkets and things like that, even exported, will only augur well for the persons invested and working in this sector of agriculture. You understand? So with the addition of the cold storage facility and the agro processing facility infrastructure there in region 2, we will definitely see an enhancement of the variety of products already available to persons, available by local businesses and citizens of Guyana. I must say, the one in region 5, Belladrum, I was there when Minister Onij Walron would have commissioned that facility. And I remind you, although the facility was identified by the coalition government, they never bought a paper clip, a chair. I ain't even talking about an executive chair, a plastic chair, or anything of the sort for that building. You know what was in there? Photos of the equipment that was supposed to be in there. And imagine they had an opening ceremony where they would have to spend money for rent tent, buy drink and snack, rent PA system. People had to spend money on gas that wasn't so cheap now to drive to Belladrum to take part in that activity. And at the end of the day, to go and see photos on a wall of what was supposed to be in there. And I always remind people of this story because that is what you get from certain political parties in this country. That is what you get. And in some cases, not even photos on a wall because they don't have time. They collect everything and just go. They don't care what you say. Right? Now, the president also spoke about the coconut industry expansion and the fact that the government will be expanding the coconut industry and improving drainage and irrigation systems in the Region 2 area. For those who don't know, coconut is a big thing in Region 2. I know Rooster's coconut water is from there, and I can't remember the other brand, but coconut water is big in Region 2, especially in terms of export, right? Guyanese coconut water is being drunk around the Caribbean and around the world, coming from the Essequibo area. So improvements in drainage and irrigation will only add and complement what these coconut farmers are doing already. Better drainage and irrigation means the trees produce more, they last longer, you don't have to worry about certain diseases and that kind of thing. And in the event of a flood, you are able to drain the land fast so you don't lose your crop. I do remember traveling the Pomeroon River with the current chair for region number 2, Miss Velma de Silva, chair for the RDC there. And due to the lack of draining and irrigation, farmers on the Pomeroon River suffer tremendously coming off of the heels of the last administration due to flooding. Now, for persons who know about avocado, it's a very, very funny fruit. People like it, it's expensive, but it's very funny. The tree, the fruit, everything, very funny, right? So I remember going farm to farm to farm and persons showing me 20 avocado trees because of the flood waters that catch them completely dead. I'm talking about 15-foot, 20-foot fully grown avocado trees because they were waterlogged for a while. The land was waterlogged for a while. All the trees died. So could you imagine having to cut down all them trees, plant again, then wait for them trees to grow up to bear? And that was all because of poor irrigation. And if y'all remember the name of the Minister of Agriculture before, which most people don't, we had a Noel holder that literally did nothing in agriculture. Literally. You never used to hear from me, see Norway, nothing. So I'm glad that the government is ensuring that the coconut industry is looked after, like every other industry across this beautiful land that we call Guyana. And those persons have more of an ability to thrive. You understand, with the initiatives and the investment that government will be making in these areas. Now, His Excellency also spoke about technology for farming and the exploration of commercial drone technology for fertilizer and chemical applications to reduce costs for farmers. Right? And even with agriculture, we see the implementation of ICT and advancements in this agri sector, or the inclusion of information technology to make the farmers produce better, you yield more, so that they are more profitable. Now, he also spoke about tourism in the area. Now, the Ministry of Tourism will implement a special marketing plan to promote Region 2's growing tourism and hospitality sector. Now, Region 2 is really a nice place. Persons may not have an opportunity to visit often, but I'm suggesting that if you're looking for someplace quiet, scenic, it still has a bit of a nightlife, you're looking to relax, go to a lake, do some fishing or something, you probably want to go into an indigenous community, Region 2. Right? I know that there was a tourism committee or something that they market different events over there. And even that group has been getting a lot of support from the government. They have a Welcome to Region 2 sign that they were able to put up. There is the regatta, mainstay regatta, that's held there every year. And just generally, you want to go and see nice landscape and that kind of thing. Whether you're flying in or taking the boat, it's an excellent trip for you guys to take part in, right? I must add that the second ferry I spoke about earlier will further boost tourism and commercial activities by enhancing the regional connectivity. Now, as it relates to essential services and social investments, let's look at clean and treated water. Now, there's a continued effort to expand treated water access to 90% of the coastal communities, right? Since 2020, over 100 billion has been invested in health, education, sport, and infrastructure in Region 2. Just the other day, we had an update from the Minister of Housing and Water on the water treatment facility that is under construction there. Is it finished? Yeah, so the Underneming water treatment plant in Region 2 is currently in the testing phase, aiming to deliver quality water to the community with a current production of 300 cubic meters per hour. That's 7.2 megaliters of treated water in Region 2, right? Now, there's also, His Excellency also spoke about the addition of the new hospital and stadium, and the ongoing construction of the 6.6 billion modern hospital in Lima and a state-of-the-art stadium in Anna Regina, in my view, reflects the government's commitment to improving healthcare and recreational facilities. At the end of the day, we can see that the PPPC government remains committed to transforming Region 2 through major infrastructural projects, supporting farmers, and enhancing public service, driving economic growth, and improving citizens' quality of life. And that is something which will bring me to my next topic, right? It's about improving the lives of the citizens and the people you're representing. And while sometimes I lash Figgy, you have to give Jack his jacket, right? And I was happy that Figgy saw some benefit in the government completely removing the tolls from these bridges come the 1st of August this year, right? So he wrote a piece about it. And one of the things he touched on was the economic relief for low and middle income households. The direct financial relief. Now, the removal of the tolls on the Wismar-Mackenzie Bridge will ease financial burdens on low and middle income households in Linden. He also spoke about the increased disposable income. By eliminating the tolls, households retain more of their earnings, allowing them to spend on essential and participate more actively in the local economy. There will be a reduction in the transportation cost. So additionally to the lower gas prices, the decision to lower the daily expenses for those who rely on the bridge for work, education, healthcare, and commerce will lower the cost of transportation. The taxi man ain't got paid to go over the bridge no more. The bus man ain't got paid to go over the bridge no more. The canter man with the goods he carrying for the shop man over the bridge, he ain't got paid no more. The trucks coming out of the interior with the lumber ain't got paid no more. So this will bring relief on so many levels, lowering prices. And I'm glad that Mr. Figgy acknowledged that. Now, let's look at the support for small businesses and economic growth. Now, in Figueroa's writings, he speaks about lower operational costs. Now, small businesses in logistics, retail, transport, and agriculture will benefit from reduced transportation costs, improving profitability and market access. He went on to talk about a boost to local economies. Increased disposable income stimulates local spending, fostering economic growth and supporting small enterprise. Now, now if I don't have to pay, excuse me, if I don't have to pay, I don't know how much to go over that bridge. That's $100 or $60 or whatever it is, right? But if I am a driver going over the bridge daily, so Ms. Barrett, I got your message. As I just said, the well is in its testing phase. So according to what Minister Kroll had told me one time, it's a process of flushing the system. So all that, whoever gunk that in there, remember the system is connected. So it got to come through a pipe somewhere. So it's just a process that is going through. And once that process is finished, you'll not have that issue anymore. Right? what was it I wanted to? So if I am a driver crossing the bridge every single day for the month, it's $1,800 for the month. By 12, that's $21,600 I spend in every year to cross the bridge. The $21,000 you can't put to something else. You can't find a better way to use it. Buy something for your children, something. And sometimes I don't understand how the opposition and these, especially people like Sharma Solomon, Sharma Solomon is like a Granger 3.0. No sort of legacy in Linden. I think the only thing he's remembered for is cutting down them pine trees along that drive outside, that road outside of Watuka House and Watuka Day School. That's about it that he's remembered for. If it is either he or Carwin Holland cut it down, one out of the two, I can't remember. But that is what he's remembered for. No legacy in terms of improving the lives of Lindeners. What has he done to stimulate economic growth in Linden? Put more disposable income in the pockets of people. Now, mind you, the bridge in Linden has been operating at the same cost for years. And Sharma Solomon couldn't give the people the 26% increase he's talking about now. So if you're getting the same money that you've been getting year after year after year, and you couldn't get them the increase, what make the same money you're getting this year allow you to give that increase? You wasn't doing it before. The money getting absorbed into everything else but paying the workers. So why should people believe that keeping the toll of the Linden Bridge, look at y'all even pay the people on time for Christmas? And that reminds me, next week we'll have the town clerk on the show to give us an update on the shenanigans that already starting to unfold for the town week in Linden. You understand? It's a bunch of hustlers up there on the council. Now, anyway, I wanted to touch on this article that these thoughts that Figgy had shared about the removal of the toll and how it will continue, or how it will eventually, once implemented, benefit Lindeners and anyone who is traversing in that area. Right? Anyone who is traversing in that area. And like I said, I give Jackie jacket. If you're talking sense, I can acknowledge that you're talking sense. But once you're talking foolishness, you got a problem. You understand? And Figgy here making a little sense to me. Another thing that's been bugging us, all of us, is this elections case. Could you imagine that we are in an elections year, almost 5 years down the line, and this case now, well, today they'll be hearing from the second witness? Could you believe it? We're almost at another election, and we couldn't get the election just before started out with all the wickedness that happened there. And again, I am not a lawyer, but some of the foolishness that is being pushed forward in the court by the defense, I don't understand, man. I don't understand. It don't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Because, one, I spoke about the CV thing the other day. Miss Russell had to bring her CV or something to the court. I think the court wasting its own time. That's my opinion. I think I'm still entitled to an opinion. For the court to allow the defense to request the curriculum vitae of Ms. Roussel in relation to elections rigging that take place is complete bunkum. This lady ain't got to get no work with you. She ain't got to work at GCOM. She's an observer. You don't have to be have the highest level of qualifications to be observer. You sit and you look around. That's observing. I'm observing this room right now. I am observing. So what the hell are you talking about? Then I saw one of the defense attorneys. Lord, it's a real sad situation. At the end of the day, this is about allegations of electoral manipulation. This is allegations about inflating votes for the APNU AFC. Right? We all know and we all saw senior officials of GCOM active and complicit in manipulating and inflating the results in Region 4, the largest voting district. And to what end? To illegitimately favor the APNU AFC coalition during the 2020 elections. Now, just to give you a reminder of some of the discrepancies that we all saw and we all know, the former Chief Elections Officer, Keith Lowenfield, initially reported 171,825 votes for the APNU AFC, 166,343 votes for the PPP. However, the national recount revealed that the APNU AFC received 217,920 votes, while the PPPC secured 233,336 votes, confirming the PPPC victory over 15,000 votes. Now, let's look at evidence and witness testimony. Now, there has been, or I should say, the prosecution has presented a substantial body of evidence, including flash drives of official statements of poll and statements of recount, 73 witness statements, and official records. Now, key witnesses include now Minister Prague, forensic investigator Ral Ned, former Region 4 Police Commander Edgar Thomas, among others, like Ms. Roussel. Now, Ms. Roussel, an AmCham elections observer, testified to the use of a spreadsheet instead of official documents, raised concerns about the integrity of the verification process. Now, if we are looking at the verification process, how the votes were counted, some of the foolishness that coming up in these elections cases in terms of the questioning, I'm wondering what y'all doing. Y'all just wasting the time and taxpayers' money? Because as we paying, you know, we are paying. We are paying. Every time they got to go to court, they in and out of court all the time. We are paying. Why we having arguments about who keep noise on the election? People can't talk, people can't row. If they seen somebody trying to steal their vote, that's not the purpose of having persons there. So when things go right, they could call it out. Hey, look, chopping his head. Hey, Kit, what you doing there? Hey, Roxanne, what you doing there? Hey, that's not the purpose. So the defense in focusing on who started the chaos and who started keeping noise. Why did they start keeping noise like Nigel? Why is this guy named Brian or something? I think one of the liars named Brian. Why they start keeping noise Darren Wade? I don't know why they keep hiring Darren Wade. This boy. Oh, look, I swear to you, if Darren Wade could be a liar, y'all look at me and hear what I'm telling y'all. If Darren Wade can be a lawyer, anybody in this country can be a lawyer. Anybody can pass the bar. Right? Darren Wade made it. You can make it. You can make it too. They keep hiring the bar, losing all the cases. Them. Your Honor, 20 minutes we get out the first statement. Anyway. So, how this election, this trial that is looking at electoral fraud and the attempt to rig the election, how we focusing on who start keeping nice first or who start chaos? What were they supposed to do when they saw the rigging happening? Sit down quietly and wait for the COI? Or wait for the magistrate to recluse yourself to start over the case to start it back to do this, to do that? Right there and then they start keeping noise. Right there and then they started to keep noise because they saw the foolishness that was going on. So they had to say something. You want to know who start, what was it they said? Who making the most noise and who started the disruption? What caused the noise to start? Was it a case where the returning officer, Mr. Mingo, was using the statements of poll and calling all the right numbers, and then people start to keep noise? Oh, Mingo! He was doing the right thing? Was he doing the right thing? And then people just start hollering down the place and going on? Or were things going not the right way? Were there bed sheets employed? Were there spreadsheets employed? Were there any SOPs used like the courts instructed him to do that caused people to behave in a disorderly manner? You have to look at the underlying circumstance. They were not doing their job correctly, so persons objected to that. That's what caused the disruption. That's what caused him to start keeping noise, because they were not following the law, using the spreadsheets to tabulate hear me by using the spreadsheets, using the statements of poll to tabulate the votes. They weren't doing that. So that is what caused persons to get upset. What caused persons to get upset is seeing Valda Lawrence's signature on our official GCOM document when she's not supposed to sign there. What is going on? Are we losing focus? We worrying about who start rowing fuss and who got CV. Foolishness. Foolishness. And a waste of the court's time. And I'm seriously disappointed in the magistrate for not rubbishing some of these requests by the defense. Why were people keeping noise? Was the process going according to the law, or was it following the right process? Were they following the right processes and people start keeping noise? Or did something go wrong and people started to keep noise? I've seen videos of a young Afro-Guyanese standing in front. I don't think it's Leonard Craig. I don't think, but it's somebody tall and just look like he. Standing in front of Keith Lowingfield, talking to him about his disenchantment with the process that they were seeing at the Ashwin's building. And I've said, well, don't move this man from in front of my face. And the man get vexed. You're trying to take his democratic right to vote for who he wants. And you doing your own thing, and nobody must say nothing? That's what you expected? For people to sit back and allow y'all to do that foolishness? No, people can speak out. Now, I want to bring y'all back to the findings of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. You understand? Now, in 2023, the presidential COI found evidence of collusion between GCOM officials and the APNU AFC agents, with senior officials showing open bias and a deliberate attempt to subvert the electoral process. Unlawful actions. The COI determined that Lowenfield, Myers, Mingo deliberately violated Section 84(1) of the Representation of the People's Act by refusing to follow the proper vote tabulation procedure. That is why the noise started. Y'all were not doing what you were being paid to do. Like one of them, I went to it, let them in doing your job, and look, that's fret me, you know. Me people get a lot. But when you ain't doing your job and then you're showing off yourself too, that's where we can got a problem. So you don't even know your work and talking a bunch of foolishness for people who are actually doing what they're supposed to do. So again, I'm saying to you, outright, by not following the established process of Section 84(1) of ROPA, they violated the law. And that is when persons got up and objected. What person was to sit down? Well, you know, they're using a spreadsheet to do what they want. Well, we can do by a range another 5 years. Yeah, if you make it, we make it. If we dead, we dead. What we gonna do? You crazy? You can imagine how someone we did looking just yesterday when we were leaving Letem. I ran into a friend. Actually, it's my godson's mother and her brother, right? And we were reminiscing about a birthday party that we had for my godson in 2016. And I was telling the brother if he remembered how his nephew vomited up on him when they had a bouncy castle and they bouncing in the thing, they eating all kind of stuff. And as soon as he take the guy out of the bouncy castle, the little boy threw up all over him. So we were laughing and reminiscing on that. And I said, man, I got the pictures on Facebook and I went to the album and I'm showing them the photos. If you saw all the way the mago, if you see how we they looking, the pressure starts soon as these people go into 2015. By 2016, everybody they fine. We the suffering. So I was looking at the photos and I'm looking at them now. I said, Jesus Christ, man. All we doing well. If you see the brother, if you see my godson mother, everybody's plump and juicy. They got thing feet, they got a little disposable income now, they could do a thing. You understand? And that's to show you go and look at your photos from 2015 to 2020 and tell me you didn't suffer it. Anybody living in Guyana, me talking about the overseas based guys. Anybody living in Guyana, you go and watch your 2016 to 2015 to 2020 photos. And tell me you didn't suffer it. Now, again, there was a brazen attempt to steal the elections. The COI concluded that senior GCOM officials knowingly engaged in efforts to corrupt the vote count and steal the 2020 elections. Now, what are the legal and political ramifications? Now, these are serious charges. The accused face multiple charges, including conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in public office, and uttering forged documents. I hope they get locked up for all. Among those charged, you would know, former CEO, keep going field, Mr. I get the land in Linden, and the Lindeners didn't get it. Miss Roxanne Myers, the bomb threat boss. The one who bring in the police, armed police, to roast out observers who were sitting, looking at the process, staying there overnight to ensure that nobody messed around the tabulation process. And how could we forget? El Clermonto Mingadero, Mr. Spreadsheet Bedsheet, and could stand up in court with his wretched face as if he has done nothing wrong. Did someone have to take you to court, sir, to get you to have a magistrate, not a magistrate, a judge, more senior to a magistrate, to have a judge tell you, sir, please go back and use the statements of poll? Did you do that? Did you do that? You carry people at GCOM headquarters there in Kingston and throw a sheet over a board. People can't see what's going on. And that is when people rose up again. That's when this lady almost beat up this man from another, or beat he up, or wherever she do. The oil and gas advisor. I can't remember the guy's name. The short Portuguese guy, man. He from Anog. Beat he up. Beat he up because the man say, man, I can't see what up on the board. Everybody there except the AP and new AFC observers had issues with what was going on. What does that tell you? You know what's going on. You know exactly what's going on. Now, this whole situation here has brought a bunch of international scrutiny to Guyana. This case has attracted global attention, reinforcing the need for transparent and fair electoral processes. At the end of the day, this is not about a witch hunt or going after PNC people. It's about restoring public trust. You understand? The case is critical to ensuring accountability and restoring public confidence in Guyana's electoral system. Oh, Jesus. Oh, just a second. It's also about upholding democracy. The prosecution argues that holding those responsible to account is essential to protecting Guyana's democratic institutions and ensuring free and fair future elections. If y'all jail them, I bet you we ain't got elections rigging issues again for a long time. So I am suggesting y'all jail them, and not jail them because they do nothing. Jail them based on the evidence that's there. All of us watch it on Facebook. All of us watch what was going on. You couldn't hide it. You couldn't hide it. Y'all do what you do. Y'all do what you do. Jonathan Yearwood, thank you. Y'all did what you did. Carol Smith Joseph beat up Jonathan Yearwood. Assault. And listen, Jonathan, I'm not one of them men who gonna shame to go to the station. Anytime Carol they touch me, straight to the station I was going. You hear me? Anytime Carol I did dig a lock up in Carol. I didn't care about it, look. Man strong and this and that. The last I don't hit them. And if I hit them, I can lose my right. So I go into the station. I want you to get locked up. Let them bring a female police to lock you up. Lock you up. Like Trump, they say, lock her up. Lock her up. Lock her up. Try that nonsense with me, Carol. In the jail, I can put you. I press in charges and I go into every court appearance that I got. You understand me? I'm making sure I am there. I am there to take the process to the end. Right? So what's this?
People want to go put you.
Oh, so yesterday I was talking to y'all about the fact that it came out at the public accounts. Darren, I'm doing a live program. Let me call you back. I'm currently live. Check it on Facebook. Good. Right? So I told you all of the surprise I had when I was in Latin when I saw it. The Public Accounts Committee would have made it clear. The Bojo money was government money. Despite what Amno and everybody already knows, coalition money we spend. we spend the coalition money. Spend what? How are you going to spend what you don't have? How are you spending what you don't have? So now we know 50 million Guyanese money, Guyanese taxpayer money, went to Buju. $50 million. Right? I say this for the purpose of contrasting one or two things. What the previous administration and the current administration would choose to spend money on. Right? And I also want to contrast how persons like Melly Mel, because I saw Melly Mel had posted an elderly lady that fainted at one of these collection sites to the $100,000 check. Right? Tell Coretta to come and show and fight with me. Well, not fight, but we'd have a verbal exchange. So Melly Mel had posted a photo of a lady who fainted at one of these collection sites to the $100,000 check. And a lot of persons were complaining, oh, look how you got lined up for this check. Look how the government got we. Oh! And going on like the head in good. Right? All these persons going on like the head in good because persons had to come and line up for the cash grant. I found some video when it is sharing where the Buju tickets and how people had to go on for a ticket that probably cost less than $5,000. Look how the coalition government had people going on in the streets compared to the process of redeeming your 100,000 cash grant check. Look at Buju tickets distribution process, distribution location. Look at this, Buju.
Guys, people fighting for the Buju.
Not a tent, no staff, no proper process, nothing. And they're talking about the government's distribution process of the cash grant. Mind you, there were some hiccups, but nothing major. People may not have gotten their check already, but they know, well, okay, the check might not be here, but it's there. You can get it. There was a system for you to go and check to see if your check prints, and you even got to go down and it's in ready. But look at this. A Prado pull up, everybody swarm, and going on like animals. Alan, don't be crazy. No. Yeah, going on like animals, a ticket that is not valued over, let me say 10,000. Let me get a big number, $10,000. Ticket in value over $10,000. And look what people going through. And people complaining about the government collection process for the 100,000. Where you had police, you had 10, you had little refreshment, you got multiple staff working the system, you had a verification process to see who get. I gotta stick my hand 2 times and collect 2-3 Buju tickets. They not know where you know it. How is the distribution equitable here? How region 8 people had a chance to go to Buju? Region 9 people had a chance to go to Buju? Or just the people in this stronghold in region 4? And that's why I want people to take into consideration how these persons operate normally. And as I'm saying, the 100,000 collection process may have had a few hiccups here and there. But by and large, the process was smooth. Persons were able to collect. Rare occasions, somebody coming to check in rate. Or like in Linden, Conan Marshall going on like a lunatic for he check. Because again, people who talking about corruption, engaging in corrupt activities, he go to collect his check, see a friend pass the ID in from the back, and then rowing with the lady who collecting the IDs from the designated area to deal with him. You understand? To deal with him. The people who talking about the cash grant days forget how persons used to line up for food under the PNC. Them is the kind of lines y'all want. That's what y'all want. So again, let me continue to see how the only cash grant the coalition give away to the people of Guyana, the bourgeois tickets.
Yo. They're gonna fight. They got big fight. Butcher.
Look, if you notice there's somebody fling tickets into the air. You think the government could have fling cash grant checks into the air who get? Y'all think the Irfan Ali, you think President Ali would have, bro, they were at the next 530 meeting. You know what I'm telling you? You think anybody working under the president or representing the political party that has a general secretary named Barrett Jagbio could have go to a location? I'm gonna pull it up for y'all to see. Look just at the umbrellas, the green, red, yellow umbrellas in the back there. Look.
Butcher!
Bring the tickets in the air. And they complain about the government cash grant process. Y'all out your minds. Y'all are out of your minds and so disingenuous. It's not even funny. Not even funny. You've got to remind people of these things because that is how Guyanese people have to go and line up to benefit from the Granger administration. You get a free ticket. Not $100,000 that could have probably go to your rent or to your food or pay your arrears at courts or something.
Somebody fighting and going there. Who fighting going?
You hear the cameraman? Somebody pointing gun, who pointing gun play, and the cash grant, the ticket grant distribution under the APNU. Gunplay, gunplay. Me say I'm not had the gun, but I'm not was sharing the tickets and gunplay wrong. She went sharing no ticket. Sabrok Market. The video is there.
Pulling out fucking gun in the crowd, boy.
People right, but they can't say come to the black people that fun.
Yeah, buddy,
You hear the commentator?
But they can't say come to the black people that fun.
Yeah, buddy, hard on discipline.
You understand? Indiscipline. And these coalition people coming to say they want to go back way to do what? Not in this Guyana, brother. We move forward too far. Now, one more video. I just want to say to persons who may know, as a Guyanese, you have a right to protest in this country, right? Peacefully protest. And if anybody's trying to disrupt that, then they're breaking the law, not you. So, hello, good morning. Good morning. Not too bad.
Hey, Courdel.
Yes.
What I want you to know, in 1964, they started a campaign there when they won the election with De Geer and they had a coalition government.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And in 15, they did the same thing. Isn't that proven to the people that coalition don't work in Guyana? This is the party that can carry forward.
I agree.
Because I remember in Guyana, now I'm 72, 73 years. I remember when I go to the polling station, they never allow me to vote. They always say I finished voting.
Wow.
Right? I never get to vote. I was born and I grew in Lenora, right where the president come from.
Okay.
Right? And I work at IFLOT. I was a supervisor in the factory in engineering.
Right.
And I had to get away from there because of the PNC government, of the pressure you're getting. That is why I leave Guyana.
A lot of people like you, brother.
Right? And I did the apprenticeship, and I hear a lot of these people come on and says that the PPP closed down all the sugar factory. It started at Versailles with Burnham, and Lenora and Diamond in 87 with Hart.
Right.
Right? And I follow all these things that happen. I still continue because I love Guyana. But this is what happened. This is why we get away from there.
I'm glad when persons who had experience in those times are willing to come forward to share their experience with persons who may not know, to understand what people are going through then.
Oh yes, I know they had a strike there in 1977 and they charged me for treason.
Wow.
And I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right? To one guy, he went and complained at Lenora police station, they charged me. And when the case go up there to magistrate and Rancharitar, he said, how can you charge this man for treason? The police don't even know what they're doing. And I argued that case and win it. And they had to break it to common assault.
Oh, man, at least,
right?
Man, it was really dark days then.
No, brother, but I tell you, you're doing a great job. I look at your show every morning.
Thank you so much for the support.
I sit down here. You're doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care, brother.
You too. Right. I do appreciate those calls and the persons who do reach out to me to say that they're looking at the program. But as I was saying, and I was talking about protesting. So a video was sent to me where a group of persons were protesting, females and males, and an assault took place. Now, sir, I'm saying to you, whilst women could be provoking, you have to do the right thing. What kind of example you setting with this kind of behavior? Huh? What kind of example? What kind of example you setting with a kind of behavior? You lash the lady in your head with a phone just because you in love with Muhammad? Come on, man. You gotta do better than that. You gonna hit the lady in your head with a phone. A big man like you. All for Muhammad. And you know something? At the end of the day, y'all can see, all this stupidness that Muhammad's doing around the place and them kind of thing is all for a big knot or a duck knot. Muhammad can't run for president. He will not run for president. This is not a thing where you just get up a morning and say, I'm running for president. You know the processes you have to go through. You have to contend in every single region. You understand? Every single region, you have to contend. And not just find somebody to contend. You have to get backers. And backers to the backers. You know how expensive, you got money, it might be going down a little bit, but you got money. You know how expensive it is to campaign and to sustain a campaign through the elections. Mohammed got sell the Lambo and he think if GRA ain't collect it back yet. You understand? So, again, y'all don't be fooled by the shenanigans and the antics that as doing in the villages. And again, if y'all don't want you in there, y'all protest and put you out. Plain and simple. You have a right to protest. You understand? You have a right to protest. Imagine all these people that are running and hugging this guy get robbed by this guy. 900 million. And everybody fine with it. Nobody got issue. These people who running down Critic with contract. Critic contract is less than the money Mohammed run down Mohammed too. Y'all want to know critic contract and wait down. What you do? Critic ain't get paid $800 million yet. For those who don't know, the government of Guyana didn't give Critic all that money one time and said, go and build a pump station. If you're building, you get paid increments. As you finish certain sections, you get paid as you go to assist. And I'm saying to you that the Guyanese Critics contract is less than the amount of money that Mohammed's owe. So if people write in Critic about not completing his contract, then you should write Mohammed about not paying his 800 million taxes, 900 million taxes. How we being so hypocritical in this country? This guy, Mudwater, we name Kieran Bruce Mudwater. Go to Critic Pro. Oh, look, Critic Project. And I'm showing you I'm here, and he videotaping himself. Big Banga Mary. Oh, Critic, almost $1 billion. And this is it. He told the man, come for his piles. Come back for his piles. As you can see, the piles are rotten. The piles are rotten. Mudwater, Kieran Bruce. Why don't go in front of Mohammed house? Mohammed owe $100 million more than Critic. And again, I say to you, Critic ain't get the whole 800 million. Whap. I'm pretty sure he can get a good 300 million for the contract so far. Pretty sure. Might be wrong, but pretty sure. Not a whole 300 million he can collect for the contract yet. Because that's not how it is work. So, Kieran Bruce, I'm waiting for you to go in front of Mohammed. So, we're in front of the mansion. Look, the Lamborghini, guys. The Lamborghini, look. And he owes 900 million. He hasn't paid us yet. So, he owes more than Critic. He owes more than Critic. Do a video. Do a video, brother. And that's why I get upset. Because the things that people choose to talk about already happening, and in worse cases, and they turn a complete blind eye to that. A complete blind eye to that. You understand? People gonna gravitate to a man who has been officially sanctioned and then abusing about the PVP allegations. No official nothing. The American government in sanction, the president, the vice president, nobody in the cabinet. Right? But a sanctioned man getting love in certain quarters. And the same people trying to abuse the government. About what? Where evidence about what you're talking about? We got evidence of Mohammed corruption. Oh, fuck, show we. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, fuck. Really? So remember, anybody who talking about Critic contract, Mama is more than Critic. And he richer than Critic. He's been labeled the richest man in Guyana. Pay your 900 million, man. Pay 900 million. Pay your 900 million. Keep Mudwater Bruce. Please go and do videos on that. Mudwater, please go. Kieran Bruce, please go to Region 1 and look at the one bridge that Annette Ferguson tell you about and the condition it's in. Mudwater, I hope you were at the government mix. I don't know if you were there. Saw some people upset that some people weren't there and who wasn't there and this and them kind of thing. But we can deal with that another day. I gave you all a little extra time because I knew we had some trouble with the broadcast out of town. So, see you guys tomorrow, live from Kokwani. We're scheduled to have the Minister of Housing on there, Minister Courdel Jones, to talk to us about what has been happening in the community of Kokwani and the initiatives that the government has been putting forward, especially as it relates to housing, water, infrastructure in that community. And, you know, it should be a good show. The internet's supposed to be amicable. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all continue to be good Guyanese. Please stay safe on the roadways. Guys, slow down. Slow down. Some of these accidents are very retarded. It's like, why we even have this accident? Why y'all had that accident? You didn't have to be this retarded, sir. Slow down, please. Anyway, I'm out of here, and as I usually say before I go, it's all about peace. It's all about love. It's all about One Guyana.
We are a peaceful people, struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down.